Awesome. All right. So today we're going to kind of talk about different KPIs and how to set up your dashboard. Like Brooke said, I'm one of the founders of Cloud Genius ERP. We use NetSuite internally. We do all our billing, all our accounting, all our time entry, our expense reports right through NetSuite. We use it day in and day out. I had a little bit of an issue today logging into NetSuite. They had a problem at one of the data centers in North America. So I was not able to get into my NetSuite environment today, but they resolved it very, very quickly. So I was happy about that. But this home page that you see is one of my demo environments. I'm looking at a Suite Success WD Warehouse Distribution demo account. And the way I have this set up is pretty much how I have my personal dashboard set up. So like I said, we use it every day. This is one of the things that I like to see on a daily basis when I log in, this KPI, Key Performance Indicators. And I want to see my bank balances, credit card balances, expenses, income, and things like that. So we're going to talk a little bit about this. I also rely on reminders for things like an employee will enter a timesheet or will enter an expense report and submit it. So I do rely on these to know when I have expense reports to approve, timesheets to approve. So I've also created a custom reminder here. We know that everybody who has vendors will have to do 1099s at the end of the year. So what about those vendors that we said were a 1099 vendor, but we did not capture their tax ID number? This happens quite often. So I'm going to kind of explain to you how I created this and assigned it to my reminder. Because you're not limited to just what's out of the box with these reminders. You can pretty much create anything you want as long as the data's in system. I also have another custom little KPI here, for example, payroll liabilities. So every single month we run payroll, twice a month actually, we run payroll. We have tax liabilities, we have 401k liabilities, health insurance liabilities, and I like to be able to track that right on my home page. So this is actually something that I created just for this demo purpose. So I will show you how that's done. Now this home page here is pretty big and I have a lot of things on here. So normally you're not going to set up this many things on a home page. It's a little obnoxious, but I do a lot of demos. And the point being is I just want to show that you have a lot of options on how to set up your own home page. And for those of you who may be an administrator for your organization, you may want to set up a home page like this and then publish this out to specific users. And that's very easy to do. We don't necessarily like to do that for our clients because this is so tailorable to the individual user. So we do like people to be individuals and kind of look at things that they want to see. But having said that, there may be sales people or certain people that you only want to publish certain things to, and you have all that control as an administrator to go ahead and click a button, publish this dashboard that I'm looking at right now, and select which users or roles have access to this. Okay, so getting started, up here in the personalized little drop down, if I click on this, it's going to allow me to add certain things. And again, I've already added many, many things to this, but I wanted to show you here. So there are things like calendar, custom portlets, this new release portlet. Anytime NetSuite's going to have a brand new release that's going to be coming out, they're going to automatically add this to your home page, and then you'll typically remove it because you'll get sick of seeing it every single day, or you can move it down toward the bottom. So these are just standard content items. There are report snapshots. You do have quite a few of them that you can add, and you simply click the plus sign and you'll notice that this one just got added here to the left-hand side. And I can go ahead and click the plus sign again and it adds another one. So we'll go through and I'll kind of show you a little bit of what these are. And I'll go into the trend graphs. These are other graphs that we can add. So I'll go ahead and click the plus sign. This one decides to add it here. And then down below, you'll see Suite Apps, which I don't have any Suite Apps loaded. And then currently used, you're going to see these are all of the things that are actually on my home page. So you'll notice in here, I added 2 report snapshots and I added 1 trend graph. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out. And now I'm going to go ahead and modify this. So we'll take this trend graph, click on the little drop down and go to setup. And under the setup, basically it's going to ask you, what do you want to see? And these are all out of the box options here. Maybe I want to see AP balances or average days to pay, bank balances, whatever it is that you want. This NetSuite's a very big system. It has e-commerce, CRM, cases. So you're going to see all sorts of things in here. Here's some case, cart abandonment if you're using NetSuite e-commerce, credit card balances, custom KPIs if you create your own, and that sort of thing. Let's just take something easy. We'll click on AP balance. And then here you have something like trend type. Do you want to see a yearly, daily, monthly? I'm going to choose monthly. And then period to calculate moving average. We'll leave that at 2. And there are some other things in here, which I'm not going to get too deep into, but you could pretty much pick and choose what color series. If you had a specific color you wanted to see, which comes in a bunch of different numbers, 4 or 5 or 6 different numbers, you can add that in here, or come in here and pick your color palette. And then I'll go ahead and save this report, save this KPI. And now it's going to go ahead and refresh. And here is my AP balance by period, August, September, October, and so forth. So now I can come in here and actually change this and see it quarterly. And different options, see it yearly. If I don't like the way this graph looks, I can definitely turn it on its side. I can use more of a line graph. I can use more of a line graph that's kind of shaded as well. All these are drag and drop. So I can take this. I'm going to drag this one right to the top. This is one of the things that I like to see right front and center, and I can move this quarterly AP balance down toward the bottom. On the left-hand side, we added these as well. So again, we're going to come into setup. And in here, there's a whole slew of things that we can pick. Let's take customers by balance. And then here we can say, what do we want to see? The top 5, 10, 15, 20. Let's choose top 10. Again, what color, theme, global, basic, colorful. You can put in your own, and I'll go ahead and save this. Now I did choose 15 customers, so looking at this on the left-hand side might be a little difficult. So maybe this is something we want to drag over toward the middle so it spreads it out. One of the things I really love about these KPIs is they can be interactive. So for example, I'm looking at this AR aging summary KPI, and you'll notice this B sharp music has a large balance, which is really skewing the rest of my customers, 10 customers here. I can simply uncheck this one and really kind of get a better idea of what the rest of my customers look like. Again, here this is by period. We have a lot of different options in here, rolling quarters, fiscal periods, months, things like that. All right, I'm going to go back to, we're not going to get into this one here, so I'm going to go ahead and remove this. So simply click on the drop down, I can click remove and get rid of that KPI from my home page. One of the things that I like to see on these KPIs here is out of the box, they typically start with this period versus last period. So I'm more of a yearly numbers person. I really like to see what's happening this year compared to last year. So this key performance indicators has a lot of flexibility in here. I'll go into the setup of this. And here you're going to see my income. I've actually changed this to show me this fiscal year compared to last fiscal year. And then we have payables, this period versus last period. We have things like highlight. Right now this says highlight always. You may want to highlight your bank balance if it's less than, let's say, 100,000. So I'll put in 100,000 here. And I'm going to go ahead and save this. And what that's going to do is notice my bank balance kind of went away. That was up here, and it's also not in bold. So it's not really drawing too much attention to this. So it's up to you how you set these things up. You can see like expenses and income. These are always set to highlight. But again, I changed it to this fiscal year versus last fiscal year. These are all hyperlinks. One of the best things about NetSuite being cloud-based, I'm using Google Chrome. It's one of my favorite browsers to use. I can right-click on this or click on it and open this in the new tab, and you'll see me doing this quite a bit. And now I'm actually looking at the income statement where that information is coming from. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about, I added this one down here. So like I said, on every semi-monthly basis, we run payroll here through a service, and I'm booking journal entries for my liabilities, 401k, health insurance, and I do like to see this because after I pay those, this technically should be 0 at all times. So I'm going to go ahead and right-click, open this report, and this report here is really just tied to a Save Search report. So I created the Save Search. I'll go ahead and go into the Save Search, and really it's just an account Save Search. So I said, go find my account number. It's 22040. That's my liability account. And the results of this are, I want the name of the account and the balance. I want it summarized. And so I group it by name, summarized by balance, and this is the number that KPI I want to show. So I quickly created this. I gave it a name. We make sure that we make it available for reminders and show in the menu so I can find this real easily. And I saved this and I ran it. And this is really just giving me one account because I restricted the 2040 account, and it's giving me the balance here. When I added this, my home page, I came up to setup, and I went through and I clicked add custom KPIs. Now you'll notice down here the KPIs that I have all just have these little question marks. That's just out of the box KPIs, the standard KPIs. And under payroll liabilities, you'll see here, there's a little C for custom. Now I really despise this word custom because I'm an accountant first, I'm not super technical. I'm able to create these. You guys are able to create these on your own and not really, have to depend on a consultant or a developer to create these. In any event, it adds these things to the add custom KPIs. And you can see this is a demo environment. I do have quite a few. I went down to the P's for payroll, and it was in here under PAY, and I added that to my KPIs. That's where I'm having this. If you look at add standard KPIs, there is lots and lots of other things in here to add. All right, I'm going to talk about reminders for a few minutes. These reminders are fantastic. There's a lot of them out of the box. We use these all the time. We encourage our customers to use the reminders as much as possible. We like to ask that you think of what would you normally do on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, where you go through NetSuite or any ERP system and you're searching for things. So you may want to run a report that shows you, show me all of my vendors where we specified they're a 1099 vendor and have no tax ID number. Instead of waiting for the end of the year and running this report and scrambling to send out W-9s and things like that, we'll set up a reminder for that. So this is also a Save Search. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up in a new tab. This is a very simple Save Search. It's just showing me the name of the vendor, their email address, their phone number. We said in NetSuite they're 1099 eligible. So I'm going to go ahead and view one of these vendors, and their tax ID number is blank. So as soon as the vendor loads, we'll go into this, Eric Givens. And then from here, I'm able to actually email, if you're using the email functionality, I'm able to email here, send them a template that says, hey, I need your 1099. So that's very nice to have. But under the financial tab, here's the tax ID number, 1099 eligible. So we created a report that said, show me all my vendors that are 1099 eligible, and this is blank. Now I'm going to add something in here, and I'm going to save this just so I can show you that that reminder is real time. And then if we look at this report, I'm going to go ahead and edit this. This is also a Save Search report. And what I did is I went to a vendor search, and I came in here, and the criteria is 1099 eligible is true, and tax ID number is blank. And then the results of this, basically I wanted the name, email, phone, are they eligible, and what is the tax ID number, which is blank. Now for this, if you scroll up to Save Searches, I made this public, meaning anybody who has access to this environment can review this report. I also made it available as a dashboard view and sublist view. And this box right here, available for reminders, is what allows it to show up in the reminder list. So I have that checked. I saved this report and ran it. I was happy with the results. Now there's 3 because I modified the one vendor. And then on my home page, you'll notice there's 4. If I refresh this, because I updated that one vendor, it's down to now 3. You can have hundreds of reminders in the system. They're only going to show up here if there's actually data in those reports. So simply coming up here to setup, you'll notice some of these have a C next to them. That just means they're custom reminders. Those that don't have a C, like this one, assemblies to build, is just something that's out of the box. You'll notice my 1099 vendors. I'll go ahead and remove that, and then you'll just see it. I'm going to go ahead and add it back. And here it is. So that's my report. I simply came in here, checked it, added it to my current selection. You can see there are tons and tons of things in here, but there are also a lot of other things that were created based on reports. So all these that have a C next to them are basically safe searches that we created. So show me contracts to approve. Show me fulfillments that were created today. If I want any one of these, I simply check it and it adds it to my list. I can move these around anywhere I want. If I want 1099s at the top. And I also have this option here, which I don't know of anybody who checks this box, but show reminders with 0 results. To me, the point of reminders is I can have hundreds of these if I wanted to. I want NetSuite to kind of show me what is it that I'm looking for without me having to go into the system searching for this information. So if you can actually write a report, safe search report, you can expose it to the reminders. I'll go ahead and save this, and now you'll see 3 1099 vendors, no tax ID number here at the top. All right, a couple other things here that I want to show. We've already kind of discussed some of these other KPIs. There are things like little speedometer dials and that sort of thing, different ones. So this one has my bank balance. This one has my payables. These do allow me to change to something else. For example, receivables, inventory valuation. So I can quickly change this on the fly. You'll see little speedometers on the right, on the left. You can have many, many of these. Here's this one that we created earlier. And then shortcuts. This is typically, for me, I'm going to go ahead and move this up a little bit. And I normally have the shortcuts right underneath my KPIs. So shortcuts are very important. This is nice to set up. Basically, anything that you do on a daily basis, you don't have to go searching for things. So for example, if I'm entering AP bills, and that's one of my main jobs on a daily basis, I'm going to open up Enter AP bills in a different window here. And typically, you will see here under More, Add Shortcuts. So I'll add this to Shortcut, and it's going to ask you, what do you want to name it? So I'll put Enter AP bill, and then there's a checkbox here, Open in a new window. So if you notice during this whole demonstration, I'm right-clicking and opening in a new window, and this will actually just do it for me. So I'll go ahead and save this. I will go ahead and close some of these other windows I have open. So I'm back to my home page. This is not refreshed yet, so I'll go ahead and refresh my home page, and now you'll see Enter AP bill. So because I checked the box that said open in a new window, I don't have to right-click this, Enter AP bill, and open in a new tab. I'll just go ahead and click it, and it opens up in a new tab automatically for me. Whatever you do save in your shortcuts, maybe your shortcuts are listed down below, you'll also see them under your favorites. So here's Enter AP bill as well, because I added it here. Now, some of our clients will say, but Perry, there is no More button on the window. And I don't remember which one that is, but let's look at journal entries, for example. And if, for example, you have something inside of NetSuite that you want as a shortcut, now this has a More button, but if there's a window that doesn't have a More button, This is web-based. I come in here, I'm going to copy this URL. I'm going to go back to my home page. And under shortcuts, I will click the little drop down with the 3 lines. And I will go to setup. Forgive me, I'm going to go to new shortcut. And what I'm going to do here is type in journal entry. And in here, I will go ahead and copy that URL I just pasted. I just copied. I will paste the URL just copied, and I'll go ahead and save that. So now I just enter my journal entry window. I'll right click, open this in a new tab, and we're back to the journal entry window. Okay, being that it's web-based, most people think that these shortcuts need to be NetSuite shortcuts. That is not the case. If you're a big fan of yahoo.com, you like to view the news any given time of the day, you can take that shortcut, go to your home page, click on new shortcut, and add Yahoo to your home page. Now, it might make more sense to add things like your bank, possible Excel files that you might run on a daily basis. Here's Yahoo. Anything that you can think of, you could pretty much add a shortcut. Other applications that you might be using in your organization, maybe you use Salesforce.com or another CRM system, being that a lot of our clients have single sign-on authentication, meaning when I log into NetSuite, I don't have to log into it. When I log into HubSpot or Salesforce, I don't have to put in a password. It's all single sign-on. If my day-to-day activities are in NetSuite and I access those other systems, you can certainly build out your shortcuts to kind of reflect that and be able to use those anywhere you want. A couple other things I'd like to show. These again most of these are all out of the box. I'm going to scroll down a little bit more. So in here, this is also a portlet that you can add. Just kind of shows you your previous login, the last time you logged in from your mobile, successful logins today, 8, previous password change, so you know when your password expires. You will get an email that says your password is going to expire. You can see what the date is here. Here are some settings. Personalized dashboard, set your preferences, change your email, your password, your security questions. This is where I mentioned publish dashboard. If you're an administrator or you have the proper security rights, I can take this whole dashboard on my homepage I just created, click on publish, and assign it to other users, and actually lock those users from changing things on their own. They'll be able to see exactly what I have on my homepage. A little further down, we have these executive financials. These are out of the box. I really do love these. They show what's happening today, what about this week, this month, last month, fiscal quarter, and fiscal year to date. Some of these you can drill into it, some you can, most actually you can. So if you want to drill into what are the sales this last month, I'll go ahead and open in a new tab. And I'm having an accounting period issue, demo data, sometimes never know what you're going to get. A little further down, navigation portlet. For those of you that have NetSuite Suite Success, or if you're purchasing a Suite Success module with NetSuite, you will see navigation portlets. So these are basically more shortcuts. So right now you see this is category system administration. And what does a system administrator typically do? They'll add new users, manage users, roles. They may customize forms and scripts, maintain the file cabinet or do any mass updates or import records. But if somebody's in the accounts payable department, I'll go ahead and switch that. NetSuite does a very, very good job in determining what does somebody in accounts payable do. Well, they take care of vendors and contacts and returns, and they do bill purchase orders and pay bills, bill variances. These are the reports that are typically generated from an accounts payable person. As you switch through these, accounts receivable, just the opposite, AR aging, AR registers, payment histories, customer balances. All right, down below, I've got the account reconciliations. This is also another portlet. So here you can see I have many checking accounts. This kind of shows me GL account balance, last reconciled balance, last reconciled date, bank statement balance, statement ending date, and how many items to match. Another audit, system notes, audit log. All right. So we kind of talked a little bit about saved searches. So part of this was homepage, dashboards, and reporting. So I want to talk a little bit about the different types of reports. And I'm going to go ahead and click on reports here. This will pull up my reports menu. I do like to collapse all of these. You can see there are a lot of different reports in here. If you create a saved search, a custom one, you'll see them under saved searches here. If there's something that's not being viewed here, it's probably because there's a checkbox that says show in the menu. And if you don't check that box, you won't see them here, but you will find those saved searches under all saved searches. Same with reports. You have saved reports here. If you run any report, financial report, AR report, and you customize that and save it, you're going to find it under saved reports. So a lot of customers will ask us, what is the difference between a regular report, a saved search report? When do I modify a report out of the box as opposed to creating a saved search report? And that's a very good question. I'll show you a little bit of the differences between the two. So for regular reports, especially when it comes to financials and income statements, if we're going to modify an income statement or want to see general ledger, typical income statement reports, we're going to do this out of the regular reports and not saved searches. So I'll come into income statement. We have a lot of different options in here. One of my favorite options is if you're using classes, departments, to be able to spin these reports by different options here. So here's a quick income statement. I just changed the column from total to class. I'll refresh this. And now it's going to spin this report on its side and give me a report across the top based on class. One of the things we run on a monthly basis is by accounting period. So this allows you to do some trending and things like that. So you'll notice that now I have January 2017 through March 2018 across the board. A lot of things you can do with these reports: export them to Excel, PDF. You can print them, email them, and also schedule these reports. So when it comes to financial reports, this is really the place to come in, view them. If you have the customize button, you have security rights to customize these reports. You can do that here, add additional columns, formula fields, totals, and things like that. I'll go back to the report menu. Saved search reports, on the other hand, are really up and down reports, meaning I need a list of vendors, I need a list of customers, I need a list of purchase orders. So I'm going to go ahead and click new search and kind of talk about this a little bit. You'll see here there's a lot of different options. So I tell all our customers, don't get overwhelmed with all the options. What is it that you're looking for? If you're looking for vendor information, you go down to vendors. If you're looking for customers, you come to customers. If you're looking for anything transaction related, you're not going to find it in this list. You will find one under the T's called transactions. So if you're looking anything, purchase orders, sales orders, invoices, AP bills, anything you can think of that's a transaction level record in NetSuite, you're going to find under transaction. So I'll go ahead and click on transaction. And the first thing this is going to ask me to do is I'll put in the type. What type of report is this? What are you trying to generate? And here you're going to see bills like AP bills, bill credits, bill payments. One of the beauties with this tool is I can put in AP bills and I can come down and add AR invoices to that same report. So if I want to see vendor information, customer information, I'm able to see that. And that's fantastic. So let's just take AP bills for now. And I'm going to click done. So that's the only thing I selected. We'll add bill credits as well. And then under the results, NetSuite kind of assumes these are the things you want to see. These are custom fields that are created for a demo of mine. The reason they show up here is because I put this information on the vendor, on the AP bill window. So it kind of assumes that I want to see those. So I'll go ahead and remove some of those. I don't really care about as of date. I'll remove that. Accounting period's fine. I'll remove tax period. And so here I have some basic information. I'm going to go ahead and click Create Save Search. And I'll give this a name. I'll save and run this. So now this is basically all of my AP bills. I am seeing things like the little asterisk here. You'll notice this has an internal ID of 97, which means these 4 records are all part of one record. This asterisk means this is the main line. If I view this AP bill, this really means it's the header section. So the total bill for this is $1,368, but this bill has 3 different line items associated with it. This one, and this one, these 3 line items. So if we look at that vendor bill, you'll notice here's the bill. The total is $1,368.75, and I have 3 line items. So I'm going to go ahead and edit this search. Maybe I don't want to see the 3 line items. I just want to see the total number. So where you're going to find that is under mainline. And when we click on mainline and add this, it's going to ask us yes or no. If I click yes, that just means I want to see this part of the AP bill. I want to see what the total is here. Anything that has memo class up here, you will see that information on this report. Now, when I saved this earlier, I didn't click on public. I didn't click available as a dashboard or available for reminders. If I click on public, that just means everybody who has access to my NetSuite account will be able to see it. If I click this checkbox available for reminders, they're going to see it for reminders if you want to choose it for whatever reason. And show in menu is going to be under the reports where basically saved searches. You'll be able to see that in the menu and not have to search for it. So I'll go ahead and save and run this report. And now I'm only seeing the main header information. Here's that 1368, and I'm not seeing the details behind it. I'm going to edit this search one more time. And you'll notice that I had that AP bill from 2015. I can come in here to available filters, and I'm going to go ahead and filter by date. And when I tab off this field, it's going to ask me, do I want to show this in my filter region? And I'll click add, and now I'll save and run this report again. And in here now, I can either put a custom date from and to myself, or I can use this function and basically say, you know what, I want to do year and I want to do last year. And then it populates my dates for me, refreshes this report for me. Here I can export this out to CSV, to Excel. One more thing I'd like to show before we start to wrap this up and open questions. I'll go ahead and edit the search one more time. One of the things that we're doing quite a bit right now is emailing these things. So maybe this vendor bill is not a perfect example, but things like receiving into a warehouse. As receipts come into the warehouse, maybe warehouse managers would like to know what's coming in the warehouse. So we can send email alerts when records are created on this save search. So keep that in mind. We can do specific recipients. We can do recipients from results. And what that means is if you have a, let's for example, talk about a sales order that may have a salesperson associated with that sales order. We can run this sales order report, show the salesperson on there, and as that order has been fulfilled or shipped, that salesperson can go ahead and get an email that their order has been shipped to their customers. There's a couple things that I strongly recommend here. I don't like to send off one-off emails to our salespeople. They may get 40 in one day, and those emails go unnoticed. So we like to maybe summarize scheduled emails. So for example, at the end of the day at 5 p.m., send our salespeople an email of every order that's been shipped today that they were associated with. I'm going to go ahead and save and run this again, and then I'll go right to my home page. So Brooke, I think at this point, I'm all finished. I know you wanted to have a little bit of time to have some housekeeping items and open it up for questions.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Perry. I appreciate it. And let me know when you can see my screen.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That was great. I would like to cover a few follow-up items, and then we can move into our question and answer section of our webcast. Today's webcast is part of GSI's free ongoing educational webcast series, and our upcoming webcasts are currently listed on the screen. And if you'd like to register for any of these, they are free, and you can go out to our website at getgsi.com. And if you'd like to sign up for any of our weekly emails on upcoming webcasts or our monthly newsletter, you can go to getgsi.com, go to the bottom of the screen, and click on the link for each. All right, well, I see that we have a couple questions here, and I just wanted to remind you that if you would still like to submit a question, you can do so using the questions panel in the GoToWebinar console window on the right side of your screen. And if you minimized your console earlier, please click the left arrow to redisplay the question panel. All right, so Perry, it looks like our first question today is from Mark. And Mark asks, can you do KPIs off of custom fields?
Yes, absolutely. So any custom field that you create inside of NetSuite is automatically available to your saved searches. You know, to import export. So if you were to import into those custom fields, absolutely you can do that. But yes, absolutely, all of them can be used for KPIs and reminders on the custom fields.
Okay, great. Perfect. And then our next question is from Carrie, and she says, what is the difference between saved search reports versus standard reports?
Yeah, I tried to go into that a little bit, and I think I might have missed that a little bit. But, you know, standard reports are out-of-the-box reports that NetSuite has put together. There are tons and tons of them. So, for example, an AR aging is really the best place to get that is a standard AR aging report. AR aging, AP aging, financial reports, all those standard reports. If you were going to ask for something custom, I would suggest that you go to the standard report, find the one you like, click the customize button and add the field that you want to those reports and then save them. Saved search reports really are there for anything that's not part of standard. So that's really the first place that I start. If I want a vendor list, I want a PO list, I want to create new reminders, anything that I want to create from scratch, I create through a saved search.
Okay, great. Perfect. Thank you so much. Well, it looks like that's the end of our questions. We really appreciate everybody for their questions, and thank you so much, Perry, for your presentation. And oh, actually, sorry, we got one more that just popped in here. Okay. No question. Just an applause to you. So,
oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
We'll take that too.
Yep. Perfect. So, as a follow-up from today's webcast, we ask that you complete a short 1-minute survey when you exit, and you will be receiving an email with the link to our resource center on our website, where you can access the recording from today's webcast, as well as a copy of the presentation. So after today's webcast, we will do the drawing for the $25 Amazon gift card, and anyone that attended the entire webcast and completes the survey will be eligible, and we will notify the winner. So thank you again so much, Perry, and everybody for attending, and we hope that you have a great day.
Yeah, thanks everyone. If anyone has any questions, please follow up with Brooke or myself. We're happy to engage and answer anything you have. Thank you very much for listening.
Okay, thanks guys.
Bye.
Bye.